In this short video, I will attempt to explain the main thoughts and beliefs behind the abstract concept of postmodernism. In the session you will have been given extracts taken from a very important work of postmodern theory. The concepts that lie within this book are often difficult to comprehend, especially if you are used to a more structured and scientific approach to study in society. The publication in France of A2HE Simulation in 1981 marked Jean Baudrillard's first important step to theorizing the postmodern, moving away from the Marxist Freudian approaches that had concerned him earlier. Baudrillard developed into this book a theory of contemporary culture that relies on displacing economic notions of cultural production with notions of cultural expenditure. Baudrillard uses the concepts of the simulacrum, the copy without an original, and simulation, crucial to an understanding of the postmodern, to address the concept of mass reproduction and reproducibility that characterizes our electronic media culture. At this point, many of you will already be confused with some of the language Baudrillard uses. It is therefore probably a good idea to explain the meaning of some of these phrases, so that you can gain a fuller understanding of the postmodern approach to study in society. Firstly, the concept of reality and hyperreality. Hyperreality is a way of characterizing what our consciousness defines as real, in a world where a multitude of media can radically shape and filter an original event or experience. Examples might be a newly made building, designed to look old, or to recreate or reproduce an older artifact by simulating the feel of age or aging, or perhaps films in which characters and settings are either digitally enhanced or created entirely from CGI. These examples offer an experience that is not real, but viewed as real, often more real than reality itself. Next, the concept of simulacra. This may be best explained by using examples. Firstly, the development of nuclear weapons is deterrence. They are only useful in the hyper-real sense, a reference with no real referent. That is, they do not represent what they were built for, since they are always meant to be reproducible, but are never intended to be used. It is a false creation. Why do we create so many nuclear warheads without any intention to use them? Secondly, contemporary media, that is, television, film, magazines, billboards, and the internet, are concerned not just with relaying information or stories, but with interpreting our most private selves for us, making us approach each other and the world through the lens of these media images. We therefore no longer acquire goods because of real needs, but because of desires that are increasingly defined by commercials and commercialized images, which keep us at one step removed from the reality of our bodies or the world around us. Finally, the concept of simulation. An example of simulation might be to consider the development of music and its representation on music channels. The actual musicians are turned into simulations on MTV. They no longer have a specific historical context through which they arose. They are merely images on a screen, models to follow for other musicians if they want to get on MTV. The simulations, video images of the musicians, and audio images of the music, no longer refer to a situation that brought on individual resistance or expression. For example, putting gangster rap music on the screen completely takes it out of its historical and social context. In this context, the art was created as an expression of resistance to the feeling of domination in urban life. When white suburban kids see the videos, they have no understanding of the actual situational context. The videos are just images on the screen, like all the other images on the screen that they see every day, and thus become models to follow. This takes away the reality of the historical context and replaces it with hyperreality. By removing the context, MTV removes all resistant meaning. Pop music becomes a place of one-dimensionality. In the world of hyperreality, the world of mass media, the lines between dominance and resistance, between high and low are collapsing. There is finally no distinction. The age of modernity has given way to a totally new, postmodern era. This then allows us to freely construct our own identities. We cannot distinguish reality from media images. There is no objective knowledge. Postmodernism provides us with a new type of theory which accepts this fact. The reaction to postmodernist theory is either that of full embrace or total refutation. It is very much like Marmite in that respect. You either love it or hate it. But there is a third way to view this, whereby some of the insights offered may be taken as an indication of real historical trends. If you view the theories of postmodernism in this way, it is possible to see the work of Baudrillard and others as a sounding board, against which social theory may be tested. To end this video, let us offer the words of Baudrillard himself, where he notes that his rhymes contain an element of provocation. It is sort of a challenge to the intellectual and the reader that starts a kind of game.